Hi guys. Okay, so this client had started, he had me start his locks, and I believe it had been like 6 weeks. Now, I told him to come get his hair done in 2 weeks because when you first start them, especially when they're as short as his are, you need to get them done regularly so that your hair doesn't unravel and turn back into an afro. Well, his hair basically unraveled and turned back into an afro because when we started him, his hair was really, really short. He's got about another inch on it now, so it's going to be a little bit easier to start. But as you can see, I am comb twisting, which, as far as I'm concerned, is the right way to start locks. Basically, organizing a person's natural curl pattern so that the hair that sheds every day knows or gets a general idea of where to shed to. Because the reason why hair locks, take notes, the whole reason why hair locks in the first place is because it sheds every day. If you just stop combing your hair today, it's going to lock. It's just how is it going to lock? So what's important, is putting the hair in an organized manner so that when the hair sheds, it has somewhere to shed to, and it has some sort of organization so that it knows where to lock. Otherwise, if you just stop combing your hair and stop combing the loose hairs that shed out, it'll lock on its own, but it's going to lock in a matted mess. So, to prevent that, we organize it first. I like to use the waypoints of the head and scalp to decide where the parts should go. I like to use squares because that is the best way to get a cone to sit properly. You can't make round shapes because the corners of the head are square. The corners of the head are angles. So you have to work within those angles, and angles make proper squares. They do not make round shapes. It's hard to make uniform sizes, but you need to make uniform sizes because you need to make sure that the lock is the size of the curl pattern. This guy has a very tight curl pattern, so his locks have to be small. But if I make them too small, they will get too heavy when they lock and they'll break off eventually. If I make them too big, they will be too wide aparting, then the hairs won't want to pull that far and they will break off. So you have to make the lock the same size as the curl pattern. So basically, curls are cylinders. You take the comb, you take some product and put it on there. I like to part out a row. It's just easier. It's more efficient. It's faster, and then trying to make one square at a time, one square inch at a time. I comb the product through the hair to find the curl pattern, and then I twist that curl right in. He's got his sideburn area kind of shaved down, but twist the curl pattern into the hair. His hair would have been starting to lock if he had come every 2 weeks, but he's just now coming back, so I'm basically starting these over because there's not enough hair shed still in there. As you'll see it building up in my comb, but there's not enough still there. I don't think he was wearing a do-rag and keeping his head covered or any of that, but the head has to be covered. Those hairs that shed will tangle up in your pillowcase. You need a satin pillowcase, or you need to cover your hair with a scarf all the time whenever you're doing anything that's not out and taking pictures, because if you can wear your scarf at work, you will have better results when you're first starting than if you just let your hair free all the time. The hairs that are loose shed, and you need to get it done on a regular basis until those hairs lock in, because otherwise they'll get out, they'll escape, they'll get in your pillowcase, they'll get on your clothes, they will tangle with each other, and then you'll just have a big matted mess instead of locks. So we organize it, and then we have to keep it organized until it locks all the way, and then you don't need to be that often. This is where I'm kind of showing how I use the corners of the head to decide where to put the parts. Everybody's head is different. Everybody's head shape, head size is different, and see that that's a lock. that was trying to stay, but he had so few of those that I just had to start it all over. So use the corners of the head. I look above and below the parting to make sure that I'm making it the right size. Make sure it's straight, make sure it's even, make sure it's uniform with the row beneath it. Make sure it meets up with the certain lines and waypoints of the face. Same here. I'm going in again, and I'm using that corner of his head right there to determine where to make my part, and now I'm making sure that it's uniform with the rows beneath it. It's very important that all the locks are the same size. The curl pattern is the same size throughout the head. If you make locks big, small, and in between, only some of those locks will be healthy. Look, there's his hair when I first did it. It was perfect. All right, guys. We're done here. We'll come back on another video. Talk to you later. Have a good one.